We haven't won that one before, no.
Thank you.
Welcome. First thing we need to do is to approve the agenda. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Regular minutes from 9/22 to 25. Need to approve these.
So moved. I second
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
it.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back into public comments.
Yes, Kurt.
Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, I can't say go ahead. He's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And so, according to the agenda, you have, it has been requested that you put a stop sign over on Ross Street going on the east side of Toledo. That is a farmer's market road. Not exactly sure what the agenda is for that or the issue. So we've got traffic coming up K Avenue, trying to get up that little hill right there, which they get it. And they're going to roll around, go into town. They've already had to stop. They're the best they can do if they're. It's gonna be going on now for a couple of years, and 63 going out next year. Then they're gonna go west on into Toledo. For some reason, the city of Toledo wants to put a stop sign right over there. There's stop signs on K, there's stop signs on K, there's stop signs on State Street where I live. There are stop signs on Ann Street. I do not understand why the city is requesting another stop sign to be put on Farnham. If the speed past Brent Heron's house or the football field there is an issue, instead of making semis, trucks, tractors, grain carts and everything else, do another stop. How about just posting the speed limit with a portable sign, or just having the police watch that road once in a while? They can issue some more tickets if that's the problem. They can make some more money that way. But I don't understand, for the life of me, I can't understand why you would approve putting one more stop sign. I realize town people don't understand about driving grain carts, tractors, and all the rest of it. I get it. I know they don't understand it. But this seems like a horrible burden, and I can't understand it for the life of me. And of course, a stop sign is a perfect thing. It's not a yield, it's a stop. So, and most of the time a stop sign goes up and it never comes back down. So I want you to strongly please consider, there's also a preschool right there, and I'm sorry, but we live in a pedophilia world. I don't know why anybody needs to stop, stare at those children that are right off there in that yard often. I don't know why we would set that up so that they could just sit there and watch those kids. But I can tell you, people coming out of town on State Street, if they want to know what's going on in my barnyard, they just sit there at the stop sign. And you know, I ignore them because I've got a lot of stuff to do all the time. But when people want to watch something, a stop sign is the perfect place to do it. So please, for safety issues, to avoid more problems, analysis prevention type stuff. They don't give a reason as to why they want that there. It's way far away from that new school building, so I don't get it. It's just another burden for farmers. I don't get it at all. Put a yield or put a cop. Thank you.
Everybody else, good.
You know what I mean? Let's talk a little bit about the solar ordinance. Looks like on your agenda, you're going to be taking that up today. I just want to give a huge shout out to the zoning board. I went to some of their meetings as they were drafting this. This is about 3 years in the making. And they did a phenomenal job. One of the board members actually researched all 99 solar ordinances for the 99 counties, which is, and he's a farmer, so he somehow found the time to go through all of that. My only comment, of course, is on the setbacks. They put it at 1,000 feet from occupied homes. I would really like to see that at 1,500 feet. Way back in the beginning, 2.5 years ago, I had talked with 5 different realtors, and they all told me that I would lose at least $100,000 worth of property value on my acreage. 1,500 feet, I think, is more feasible. I think it might cut down on the amount of bickering and divisiveness in this county. And hopefully 1,500 feet won't affect my property value too much. So I would ask that you please look at those setbacks closely and think about all the rural acreage owners that will be affected by this. Number 2, there are a lot of out-of-county landowners that own land in this county. They do not live here, but they own a lot of land. There's one very prominent physician from Cedar Rapids that owns a big chunk of this county. I really have concerns that, you know, they don't live here, they own land here. I really think that there needs to be something in this ordinance specifically regarding them. My feeling is if you want to put an industrial energy project in this county, you need to have an occupied home in this county, and preferably the primary landowner lives there. Secondly, I think we need to level the playing field here a little bit on the rural areas, that if you want a solar project, if you want a turbine, fine, I get it. I understand why they're doing it. I understand things are tough, they need that paycheck. But the big thing I don't understand is why are they putting them up 1,500 feet from a non-participating neighbor, but they won't put it up 1,500 feet from their homestead? I think that is the biggest bone of contention for us that live out in the country. That if they want it, great. They need the money, great. But then you should have to live by it. That's all I'm saying. But I think there should be some language in here about people that own thousands of acres that are out of county but do not live here in King County. There needs to be something specific for that. That's all I got. Thank you.
One question for you quick, Lynn. Is it from the dwelling or property line for the 1,500 foot setback?
Well, ideally from the property line, but I don't think I can get that.
Okay. What's in there today? Do you know? I can take a look. But
Yes, it is. I was debating with this with the zoning board.
Yeah.
They weren't listening very well to me. It's 1,000 feet from occupied residential areas, 500 feet from a non-participating owner's property line. It's 1,500 feet from a cemetery property line. I'm assuming that's for cemetery expansion maybe, but they went a little more with that. I don't know. Here's a good one, 1/2 mile from city limits. So these would be for big industrial solar projects. 1/2 mile from city limits, 1/2 mile from conservation areas and historic registry areas, 5 miles from public and private airports or heliports. 500 feet from confinement facilities. So that would be something to really look at, 1,500 feet from the home or from the property line. Preferably property line.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have something back there?
Well, I would say something. I'm not really following what's going on other than the invasion of these people that are money grabbers, taking my money to build their project. Because I'm not allowed to go in there and get all these subsidies, tax credits and everything, and they wouldn't be doing this in terms of this energy. And then on the back end, when they get built, they're regulated. So they're gonna be guaranteed a profit to make more money. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But what gets to my heart, I'm a resident in Tama County. I'm domiciled out of Marshall County because that's where I was born. And of course, we know what's going on there. They got 25,000 people and 15,000 undocumented people, which is also coming into Tama County, which is a different issue. But having traveled with an education and a master's in agriculture law around the world, one of the big beefs around the world when it comes to agriculture is the purity of the product. And you bring in all this swooping around in the air. When the word gets out, you're going to be killing another industry, which is your seed corn industry, because now you're unpurified in your seeds. Now, what's more important to you? You know, we have the agriculture, but you go back in the day, we got all these carpetbaggers coming in here that are politically were able to twist the moves in Washington, D.C. when they came in with this big, beautiful bill. So there was this exception, so that the solar people could get this money from us. And so they're taking our money. Don't let them fool you. So now they have our money to fight us to get what they want done. You folks were elected, and from what I read, although I'm studying down in Kentucky at the biggest Soviet history library in the world, about their secrets behind the Iron Curtain, how they're going to come in here and swoop in and economically have their voice and take it away from us little people. You know, because we just want to have a fine living here. If we would have chose to go to a city and have all this swooping around and all the white noise, we would have done it. But we chose to stay in Tama County. And I would be here, and I plan to come back here. I know there's townships without all this chaos. Hopefully you don't let them go into those townships. These townships and the greed that's there where they're existing now, only you can do now is you can clamp down on them when they come in here. You know, their traffic violations and all the other violations, the pollution that's flying across the land, the dirt, the particles, to these homeowners that are living out there in their pure Tama County. And you don't think we got up here, we got the homestead of Abraham Lincoln. You know why he brought that here? Because this was pure America when we were going west. But we want the carpetbaggers, those people that are taking your money, our money, to do their project. Because they were able to find people that aren't here, they're absentee people. And so either you're going to stand up to the people that voted for you, and I really respect what you're doing. It just, and I hope you have the courage to keep, because you can still push back on what they're doing. There's no way I would have got a Highway 63 easement to make a driveway 100 feet, 150 feet across. And they cross that center line, they're violating the law. Clamp down on them if you really believe in what you're saying. But my biggest thing is, you're going to wipe out the industry. And I think you've got some tensions there. But if you look at these people, these carpetbaggers, and the ones that are signing on, it's all about greed. You take their money away from them, they'll go away.
Sir, we state your name for the record.
Alan Richards.
Alan Richards. Okay. Karen, you spoke once. Is it on this same topic?
It's on this topic, not on this Roth Street topic.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to piggyback on Lynn, who's been here often talking about the setbacks. So it is true that a lot of the landowners don't live here and are absentee landowners and are never going to have to live with this. So I agree with what Alan had to say, and I've been to a lot of zoning meetings, and they are working really, really hard, and I appreciate all those guys, and I hope you guys appreciate that board as well. So I wonder, I know we're in debt. I know the school is still in debt. It's been in debt for most of my adult life. You know, the city, the county, and the schools own land. They own land. So if this is going to make such big bucks and it's such a great thing, why doesn't this little footprint that I have right here extend up into the George Cooch area into the Tama County Lake area. It's right across the fence. It might as well be on the county property and on the school property that they own west of Toledo on the writing. The city owns that. There's several properties that the city and the school owns. So we could put this stuff on their property too. Each one of those properties could probably hold one turbine. And it's not gonna pay property taxes anyway, and people out in the country, they're gonna try to move if they have to have this stuff right next door to them. The homeowners, the landowners are the ones that pay the taxes, so if you have more renters and fewer landowners, and those homeowners have to leave because they can't, for some reason, be around this stuff, there goes more tax base. So let's already put it on the county, city, and school land that we already have, that they have ownership of, because it's buttoned right up next to them anyhow. So what's the difference which side of the fence it's on? And I don't want to lose more homeowners. The other night when we had a meeting on Thursday night, several people got up and spoke that they never dreamt that it was going to be right across the fence from them, that they didn't move here to live with that. Neither did I, by the way. And it's going to be in my back door. So, but I didn't sign on to this project because I knew where it was going to go. I did not know that it was going to be within a mile of my place. So I didn't know that. So anyway, I feel like, be fair, if it's making a lot of money, then let's just put it on the county, city, and school property. Thank you.
We'll close public comments, move on, engineer.
We're reworking the intersection of T, and that will be finished this week. We'll get that rocked and get that all shaped up, finished up. They're on 43, that corner there. They're gonna be placing rock, finishing up the shoulders, this week. I know that will depend, we'll probably be paving next week for that, for the sound of it, so, I guess kind of tentatively, it looks like next week, depending on weather and whatnot, that'll be opened up, so that's, they really got after it, so I appreciate what they've done, so there. And then PCI, they placed the north line, this past week, and then they'll be working on the south, putting the piling in, so. And then the Colton Place, on E66, they'll be about, hoping to finish up, that today, and that'll be about 3 to 4 weeks till the Nats comes in to, put those final 2 layers of asphalt on, so. Kind of with that Colton Place, that's just that's not the final level, there'll be, 2 additional, lifts on top of that, and, let you kind of know the, I guess, the process of it, but if people are questioning, oh, it looks like it's done, no, and there's no pavement marking, well, we still gotta pave 2 more, lifts of asphalt on top of it, so. And then we're working on O Avenue, lower stream crossing there, and then, this week we're replacing the culvert there, kind of by Dizer on 200th Street, and then that's, I guess the bridge crew laborer position that ends here the 3rd. Got a few applicants for that, so be setting up interviews at some point here. And then I guess you can go to the Ross Street and the stop sign. Talk about that. Got an email last week regarding that from the city of Toledo. The reasoning they're wanting to do that is the speed that's coming into town. It's at 25 miles per hour right now, but they're wanting people to actually have to stop and slow down. And their reasoning too was there's daycare, so they're wanting people to slow down so they're not going 35, 45 miles per hour after the daycare. So that was kind of the reasoning behind that. So Or, I guess, questions or concerns about that.
I have a question about that. With what Karen said, when it comes to traffic and traffic studies, you don't want to just jump ahead and do something. My question would be back to Toledo is, have you had an officer sit out there and run radar and stop and write tickets for it? I mean, the word gets out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And if they haven't done that, I mean, I'm not opposed necessarily to putting a stop sign out there, but I think there needs to be a little bit more study first and see what we can do to mitigate the speed. I'll just put the word out, you're speeding, you're getting a ticket, maybe double, I don't know. They would have to pass it. In there.
Did they request it from the digger?
I don't know if the daycare requested it, I guess, but the city had just said, let me know that there was a daycare in the area, so I don't know if the daycare had requested it.
I personally hate stop signs, along with windmills. No, seriously, I've been overseas and in Finland, there are like 5 stop signs in the country. Because everybody obeys the law. Well, if you don't force people to obey the law, by the way, the rule of law enforcement, in case you didn't know, is voluntary compliance. And you do that by setting an officer out there, you can see them, not hidden behind a tree or a sign. Set them out there and run the speed traps. So, not traps, run speed control.
Sometimes you can put those digital signs too that say what your speed is, and people watch. I mean, they may not follow it still, but they at least watch it to see what it shows. But I'd like to know too, like Mark said, what's the daycare saying? Do they want one or not want one? If we could find that out, that would be good to know whether they want it, people to stop or not stop. I mean,
I don't think there needs to be a stop sign there, personally. Farm Market Road, you're gonna have every truck and semi and everything stop there. Most likely, they're probably not gonna see it till the last minute, blow through it anyway.
So I can make a motion to postpone resolution.
I agree with that, we better find, we better do a little more research on it.
So I'm gonna make that motion to postpone, resolution 9-29-2025A, establishing a stop sign resolution until more studies have been done on its efficacy.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Had some discussion, any other discussion? Alrighty, we'll postpone it until we get more information, maybe.
Yeah, I'll reach out to the state to lead on.
Yeah, if the daycare was requested, that'd be good information.
Yeah.
If they feel like their kids aren't safe there, I guess that would make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Got lost in my thoughts there. Is that all you had?
And then I guess discussion about, the gravel road, and upgrading the gravel road. I guess along with the paving there on E66, there's basically, asked to let us know that there's a landowner that was wanting to pave from kind of, So S Avenue to their driveway, which is about, I think it's around 1,500 feet opposed to be wanting to pave. I know I would like to, I guess, discuss with the landowner themselves to see what their thoughts are, because I know that we probably need to place the culvert that's kind of underneath there, so that we need some extra work done before we did that. So
So if he pays for that, then does that become his responsibility forever?
it's his responsibility for 5 years maintaining it, and then with our road improvement policy, it states, we have the right to upgrade or downgrade a road in the future, say, 30 years down the road, it's going to crap. Maybe he he doesn't live there or somebody else, you know, we have the right to, you know, put it back to gravel. We're not.
It's not gonna cost us anything to maintain this stuff.
For the five, you know, that 5 years, and then we'd be maintaining it after that. So, I mean, probably would be on our lower priority to maintain, obviously, due to it only affecting, I think, two landowners.
How much more road is there? It's a dead end?
Yep. And there's no houses after that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And it's the normal thickness, right, of a road, like 4 to 6 inches that we, or what you
Well,
said?
yeah, it's gonna be either 4 to 6, but I would prefer.
Normal thickness is a foot or 8 inches, yeah.
So will it hold up as well then?
It's hard to say. Probably not very much heavy. Well, there'll be farm traffic on it because there's, you know, 100 and some acres back behind there.
But it still wouldn't be much.
I
My
see.
concern is if it breaks up, you know, in after this 5 years, I mean, we shouldn't have to pay for it because it wasn't our deal. That's the way I feel about it. You know, if they want it paved, then to me, that'd be your responsibility for the lifetime of whatever it is, in my eyes. Cause it could open a can of worms up everywhere else too.
Have we done this anywhere else?
No, not necessarily like actual like asphalt, but we've done,
Oh, this is gonna be asphalt,
yeah,
it's not gonna be concrete.
no, correct.
Yeah, it's gonna break up.
Yeah, it says right about like some of those millings.
I assumed it was concrete, I guess.
That asphalt has to be driven on in order for it to sustain its structure.
You know, so what happens if we go in there and plow snow, we peel a piece of it up, then what? You know?
Is that in our ordinance,
That,
the 5-year deal?
yeah, the 5 years in the road improvement. Policy. I mean, we've had people put asphalt milling and then like a chip seal, I think up in north of Dizer, and that was, before that 5 years ended up, they did put additional, what do you call it, thickness onto it.
Another lip.
With a chip seal, but.
No.
So if there's chip seal, when you plow that, we would end up plowing it, right?
Correct, but this one would be, yeah.
It would just be straight
That's
asphalt.
well, yeah.
But yeah, but in the case of chip seal, thinking ahead, does that scrape it out?
Well, the ones that we do have are, I mean, it would scrape a hole in the rock, yeah.
Yeah.
The, County Lake Road, we've sealed that a couple times, I think.
Yeah. And that one's asphalt millings with just sit on top of that.
If it was that situation, I mean, the chip thing allows more frost boil damage too, also. But if it's gonna be 100%, it might be a bit of a different ballgame too.
So Ben, what do you think?
I guess I would probably prefer it, the only thing is, I know that there's not the same landowner, further north. Prefer, you know, if we could possibly vacate it and just have it be his road, but I don't know if that's
I think so, 'cause that's 3 different ones.
No, that's, so,
Yeah, because I got it up,
Yeah.
mapped up.
no, yeah. So-
Meaning like they'd all have to agree, is that?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know if that would be,
I would feel more comfortable if they do it in concrete.
yeah. What's the price difference between asphalt and concrete? Roughly, is that what he uses?
obviously, it's like They don't put feet in there, but it's like 14 to 1,500.
It's probably just because Manat's already doing asphalt, so they're already gonna be there, so that's why they were gonna get at asphalt, I'm sure.
Well, the same thing when he paved his driveway.
Yeah.
They were in the area, so they paved.
Yeah,
So, when they were doing Highway 30.
but it's the biggest thing, just making sure we don't end up with a liability later, like, is it a good enough agreement, or run it by Brent Herron, like, what else can we do, or do we need to update our road improvement request policy, you know, like, is there, just so it doesn't come back on us that we're end up having to pay money to tear it out and do everything in 5 years. That's my biggest thought, but.
You said something you'd like to talk to the landowners?
Yeah, I'd like to see what they're thinking.
Sounds like we should table it.
Postpone it?
Postpone it, I'm sorry.
Is
Yeah,
that a motion?
that's a motion to postpone.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to postpone. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All I got. Guys have any other things?
One thing is Highway 8 open then? Did it end up opening or not yet? Have you heard? I know it's only Monday morning, but it was supposed to open Friday, right? But you weren't sure if it would, unless anybody came from that way.
Check the.
You don't think it's open?
It was open last night.
Okay.
It was not.
Maybe just follow up on that to see when their date is, and if it's too far out, let us know.
Okay.
I mean, I went on it again here just a few days ago, and it was good, but it's obviously, we haven't been getting rain, so I don't know what it's looking like now. Or just go drive it at least and make sure it's not super dusty.
After you talk to the owner, send that out to me, or call me or something.
Yep.
Got an idea.
Okay.
Sure, send it to all of us.
Yep.
That way we got an idea what's the talking rate.
Yep, okay.
We're gonna do that. All right, thanks.
Have a good week.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, discussion and possible action on employee recognition. One that Heather emailed out about. This has been on our radar for some time. It's part of our policy. We wanted to look at the policies. We haven't had time to get to all of that. We've been busy with other things. And so we thought we'd put it on here to discuss. We talked with Paul, and that conversation kind of has taken place over the months that we've been in office as far as what that looks like and what the old policy guaranteed people certain gift cards, like Visa gift cards at certain intervals of employment. They do get step raises already with their tenure. And so we're looking at what that policy should be moving forward, I guess. And we haven't necessarily probably ran that through the department heads. I did talk to several department heads on Friday when I was in, Thursday or Friday, late Friday. And so their idea, I mean, their goal would be for them to kind of take that over. I think that would be a good thing. It doesn't really need to, they can come back to our board and present what they're going to do. But for example, just through asking, Ben already does a Christmas party, you know. I thought, well, we're gonna have an employee appreciation thing. Companies I've worked for, they have a policy where everybody's recognized, you know, and they just have a dinner and everybody gets together and kind of, and so if Ben and them already do that, and to take that idea and to maybe do that countywide. There's some people that said, well, they're out at the road department. Chris Wilson said, well, we used to have a summer picnic or something like that. And so the summer picnic, we didn't ever go to it because we don't know any of those people at the courthouse, you know, and so that's kind of the goal is to get people together, and it would be neat to kind of have it move around so that the employees get to know each other a little bit better. And wherever there's been these types of recognition, it boosts the culture and the morale, and your retention rates are a lot higher. There's a lot of research behind doing an employee recognition program. We definitely want to do that. But I think I'd like to kick it back to the department heads and say, you guys are here, I mean, they're gonna be here long after most of us, they outlasted, all of the supervisors that have been there before, if you've been here for a period of time, and so I think it's their culture, it's their atmosphere that they work in, they're gonna know best what to do, but, I just was accepting feedback and then relay it here this morning, so whatever we wanna do, certainly we could have that discussion. Or take action, or, cause there is action on there.
I would agree, having been in multiple businesses and stuff, employee recognition goes a long way. I mean, I got called on the carpet at CRST for buying pizza for 300 people because we achieved the goal. It saved us millions of dollars. I'm not saying I'm gonna save millions of dollars by buying pizza, but there's a lot of stuff that we can do to recognize our employees. And yeah, we're a government business, but we still have employees, and employees need to be recognized for what they do. So I agree with you, Mark. I think it ought to go back to the department heads so they can, feel it out through their teams and see what kind of things that they would both.
Right, and then we are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, we can sit there and say, you're gonna come here and have this fun time doing whatever. And it'd be like, really?
Yeah, I just didn't like the idea of Visa gift cards, giving those out to
Yeah.
people. I have a real problem with it.
I think there's a better way to do it.
Especially if it's not very much. I mean, I've had recognition that had been a pretty good amount on a gift card, and then I didn't ever use it. And so then I didn't really receive the full recognition. I didn't use it.
Kind of more of a thing, right?
Yeah.
It's their years of service,
Well,
that's what the actual thing is.
The recognition is they come in here every 5 years and they get a deal.
Yeah, but I've been to one of those. Have you been?
They just come in here, they just
Yeah,
one
but
day,
if
one
we give
morning.
out 20 of them, we might have 2 people that actually showed
Right.
up.
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
mostly
absolutely.
not coming
Yeah.
to that, so it's not, in my opinion, that wasn't effective.
So it's more of a appreciation from the department head, which
Yeah,
would
but-
make that's great, that's what that,
Well, they have a better understanding.
yeah.
And everybody likes to be recognized differently too, so they know their people, like, I'd be okay with that, so we would need to update that policy
policy,
that
yeah.
says it goes, and make it go back to the department heads, and then they could, have a budget line item, maybe we could give each of them a certain amount that we roughly think that they could bring in their budgets, and then they can recognize however they see fit for those people, or all of them, or,
Yep, I think in general that they were pretty happy to have a countywide, still have a countywide type of
Yeah.
recognition. And so they would just either, volunteer within their department or designate somebody from their department to kind of have a committee, to get together, and then it would go, since they're already going through the handbook and all that with Paul, that would be a good place for them to kind of discuss and decide what they want to do with it.
yep, okay. Yeah, and I think the outside auditor was talked to as well, and it's okay to do that, cause it's employee morale, we did check on that as well, so.
If we're going to like do a Visa gift card, I'd rather it just go through payroll and say, here's your bonus, a $25 bonus or whatever. I still like the appearance of buying gift cards
Right,
for people, because then they can be misused.
yep.
So would you entertain a motion to give that responsibility to the department heads?
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
And seconded, we'll turn this over to department heads, and then when they come back, their request or what have you, then we'll take it
Auditor
to that.
office, $100. Have a fun one.
So at some point, we'll have to update that policy though, right, since we're changing it,
Yeah,
but
but
at the
they're-
moment, we're just giving it to them to kind of put a team or a thought together.
Yeah, but they're doing the policy too. I mean, they're doing
Oh,
all the
yeah.
handbook
Yep,
stuff.
so that would be part of it too, so maybe just we can let Paul know, include this department head meetings, okay, that's fair.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. All right, solar ordinance. Next steps. So this went to Brent.
I called him Friday and left him a voicemail, and he just got back to me, this morning, right before the meeting, so he looked at a few of my changes that I was requesting, and he put some items in, but I have not had a chance to look at it, but for looking at the whole agreement, did anybody get a response on that part? I don't know that
Did he look at the whole agreement or just look at things?
I sent him the whole agreement as well as my changes, but I haven't talked to him since he sent this. My understanding is he answered my items that I had. So, I guess, I don't think we have anything that we can do today, but I don't know if we need to.
I haven't got anything back on mine, and all I did was I had Karen send it to him, with all my handwritten notes.
Okay.
To Brent,
That,
had her send it to Brent. We probably need to wait to hear back from him.
I think we just put it on it like monthly so we can just keep, so let's all reach out to Brent, let's try to get it going here, and, if we need a work session amongst all of us, we could always do that too. Whatever we think is best to keep moving on it.
Yeah, I'd like to get it done.
yeah, I don't wanna wait another year.
Should we do like, after one of these next meetings, just have a work session through it, or? We need to hear back from Brent, but then is he gonna finish writing it? Do we need to do that and submit it to,
But he should give us his comments from a legal perspective. Then we should go through and make decisions on whether or not we're going to accept that, or if it's stuff that we do have to change, we change.
If we change anything, does it have to go back to the zoning?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
it does have to go back to
If
zoning?
if we change something, we have to make sure it's legal.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't think we wanna wait forever.
No.
You know. So, do we know if he's looking at it, or?
Would it be a bad idea just to reach out to him this week and see if we can pin it down by next week,
Yeah.
Monday?
To let him know to completely look through the entire agreement, yeah,
He's had over a month, right?
yeah. It was like September 1st, I think.
That would be fair.
Well, I'd like to see this keep rolling and going,
Yeah.
rather than not. They did a good job and they spent a lot of time on that thing.
So what do we wanna do with it?
Postpone it again?
Postpone it, yeah, bring it back,
Do we send a nicely worded response, not a strong, a nicely worded thing to our attorney and say, hey, we wanna work on it, or we wanna act on this soon. Can you get it back to us by, pick a date?
Yeah.
I think what he would like moving forward is for us to make a board action asking for a legal opinion.
So we've already sent it to them, we've sent stuff to them, so I guess then we could make that as a motion, that we ask him for a legal opinion on.
If you gotta be specific on what you ask him, because he'll answer how he wants to answer.
I understand.
If it's specific, how do my changes affect it? That's how he answered Heather back. But if you want something more specific, like what are the implications or unintended consequences that this might have if we pass it on landowners? Then he would look at it from that angle. So whatever the motion is, you need to be real specific.
Because ultimately, he needs to review, is it meeting Iowa code, and that's the biggest thing, right, is that we're following Iowa code and looking at different, I don't know if we want to say lawsuits, or just more Iowa code, it's.
Yeah, whatever the goal that you're trying to get a legal opinion for, we need to be specific when we make the motion.
Then do we need to make the motion today?
And then he would like, for future, talked about this to him last week, he'd like, for future reference, any legal opinions that you have from him, he wants it to be a full board motion. Not just a call on the phone and say, what do you think about this?
he wants that, but I mean, we can call him anytime. We don't need a full board
Yeah, but he
to
doesn't
call.
have to give just you a legal opinion. He wants that from the full board, because it's a legal opinion of the full board. If we're going to request that.
I want to look at that, because I thought he had to act on what I asked him.
Yeah, I think we need to look in the code for that.
But yeah, I understand where he's coming from, but just, so I suppose, Mark, I agree with what you're saying. The question is, I'm not prepared to say what I want to ask him, because that's something I need to think on.
You need to digest, yeah, how to word it. You postpone it today and,
Like Kurt says, I don't want this to go on and on and on.
Well, then let's come up with some language today. What do you want to ask him? Gotta keep it moving, it's on the agenda. If you put stuff on the agenda, we need to have something ready to go. If it's the implications, how it affects Iowa law, then let's put that language in here. I'd like to have some language in there that says we wanna ask him how it's going to affect potential unintended consequences. You know, sometimes we make rules and it comes back to bite us, and it's not something we intended to do with the ordinance. What are some ways that could potentially impact?
anything else?
Well, the 1,500 foot setbacks that Lily had asked for,
I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't need legal advice, does it?
no, we would just wanna put it in there.
Right.
So all the things that I already individually asked, because that's what we decided last time, you're saying we have to rebring every little item? I mean, he already answered it, but
What about the out of county landowners? Out of county landowners? Was asked,
I think as a board, we decide if we want to do it or not, and then Brent gives us legal advice whether we can or can't do it, right?
I had that written down, that'd be a question for him, if they would have any legal documentation, you know, if they could come back on us or something like that.
who?
The out of town, the person that wants, a landowner that lives out of town, if we make an ordinance that says you have to live in this county to do something industrial, would they have a leg to stand on for litigation?
Well, think that through a minute. How many industries are we going to go into and make that rule?
Mm-hmm.
To the owners of Cortiva or the Tama Pack, you know,
Yeah.
How many of those live in our county? You could go through all kinds of different industries, and if you keep them out of here, you can't discriminate, in my opinion. That could be a question, a legal
I
question.
didn't think of that, that does make sense.
I think that it would be.
I don't agree with you often, but I will agree with you on that one.
I just feel like we all are gonna have different things. I think we can go ahead and make this motion for him to look at it as is, but I still think us, and whether we want zoning there with us or not, should sit down and go through line by line and, you know, add in what we need to or don't. If, you know, we need to decide, okay, I wanna go from 365 days to 180 for decommissioning, and us collectively, motion second, do we agree, right? We're gonna have to just put a little bit of time into it, because Brent's not gonna be able to answer everything of what's not legal. You know, he's just looking at the legal side. We put the meat and potatoes in it, right? So at some point, I mean, we can make that motion to get him looking at it, but I think we should do that. Do we want it with zoning or by ourselves? What does everybody think? Just like I don't know, would that be something we do, would it just be an agenda item, or would it be like our budgets? Yeah, we'd have to do an agenda item to take action, so it'd be at the end of a meeting or something.
We just schedule a work session to achieve a final draft
I think instead of work session, we just call it a meeting, right? I think was what we'd have to do, so we could take action, just call it a special, I don't know if it'd be a special meeting, but just a meeting outside of the normal.
We could change it, it's just not a final change if you do a work session until we vote on it.
Oh, so we
And so we
sit
could do
there
a work
and-
session the way we want it. It would be good maybe to do a joint, work session with the zoning board,
Yeah.
so that we get their intent, and
Yep.
why. Sometimes it's good to have the
Yeah.
why behind
It
it.
is, and I know other counties have done that too.
Mhm.
Yep.
That'd be good
So-
to do. And then send it to the attorney after we come up with something that's our final product.
That might be easier. Probably gonna need to do a night one with zoning if some of them have full-time jobs, just do like an evening. I don't know if we can really pick a date today, we could make a motion second to do this and then get with Laura to find out when zoning's available.
Okay. Yeah, we could, if you guys want to schedule it, make a motion that we, schedule a joint work session with the zoning board. You and
Yep,
her with timing.
okay. You wanna just make that the motion?
Sure. That's the motion.
I'll
She's writing
second it.
down already, so.
Yep, I'll second it.
Any other discussion?
Just, is there any other dates that anybody's not available or on vacation, just as we're scheduling?
Not Wednesday
I
nights.
guess list out a few that,
Monday or Tuesday night.
it's good or bad?
Monday through Wednesday would be good.
And they can't do Wednesday, so do Monday or Tuesday?
I have to call my wife. I've learned the
Send
hard way.
me any of your dates that don't work, how about that? Or I'll just get dates from her and send it to you guys, either way.
You can call my wife if you want.
I'll let you.
Would you?
I got enough stuff on my agenda, I don't.
As long as it's in October.
I guess I'll talk to her.
Except Wednesday nights and Sunday.
Okay. Alright.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims.
We have claims in the amount of, ready to copy, 97,025,34. Nice one, $97,025.34.
Second.
There you
Motion.
go. That was the motion.
Motion and second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Additional public comments. Good.
Had a couple earlier that I missed getting, out there.
Okay.
On the, comments made regarding, like, property from the residential, from the house or from the property line. Laura Wilson said occupied residential areas includes yard and building areas and edge of acreage property. The distinction was so that it is not strictly all farmland property lines where nobody was living or working every day. So that's why it's.
Listed as occupied, not dwelling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a comment from Patrick. I've debated on whether to bring this forward or just let it play out. I honestly doubt the tower height will be 680 feet, but only time will tell. I talked with Mark last week and commented that the county ordinances lacked a height requirement, but believe I was wrong. I also constantly hear that we want to follow the rules. I urge you to read the tall structure ordinances, Article 6.3, Section 4, Number 6, to verify it doesn't apply to Salt Creek Wind 2.
What was that ordinance again?
Article 6.3, Section 4, Number 6.
Of what?
Let's see what, that's right.
Well, no, there's no height restriction in the WEC, so we must be meaning in our normal ordinance,
This
there
is on the
is.
ordinance?
I'm
Read the
assuming
tall
that
structure
without
ordinance.
looking.
He says tall structure ordinance.
I know we have a WEX, we got YAG areas, we got,
Which
reg-
Laura did respond to him also. And she said that airport tall structure ordinance has been reviewed. It does not cover the entire county, only the vicinity of the airport runways and their approach zones. All projects are also permitted through the FAA for total height through other areas of the county. There's a maximum permitted height in agricultural districts in the county of 42 feet or 3 stories. Citizens need a variance from Board of Adjustment if they personally want to build something taller, although the wind ordinance doesn't state a maximum. Providing a height is a requirement for conditional use applications where the BOA reviews and approves those larger heights.
So that's something, yeah, as we update our wind ordinance, that's something we can put in there, or the zoning can recommend, but
And then Patrick says, and Federal Airways T251 is affected?
I'll let them take that up between themselves.
So we might hear.
That's good information for us to understand before we pass it, yeah, would pass anything further, but.
Is Michelle, are you done, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to throw a big monkey wrench into this, but back to the employee recognition. When we were involved in the city of Toledo, that was a very low budget item, supplied by some of the workers' wives. So just 6 months ago, this county was just about bankrupt, and we're still struggling, and obviously the school and the city are wanting money, they're asking for money. So I think that if you're going to do that, please make it a very low budget item. I mean, actually, with all the unemployment and people losing their jobs, just being able to stay here and have a good job with good benefits is employee recognition, all wrapped up in one big package of high dollar items. And we just discussed this yesterday with one of the supervisors, that the people here are paid very, very well. So please keep that low budget, and if you want to go a little bit higher, maybe put it off for a year, wait till next year when you've got everything back in alignment with finances in Tama County. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Wanted to follow up with that. You know, my dissertation is about the Marxist invasion of this country, which has been going on for a long time, and our president even declares that is happening. I see it how it happens in a big city. Now we're in the rural area. So I want to be specific about fighting back. You know, our law enforcement can go pick somebody up that's just sleeping in their yard for a few hours and take them into jail for intoxication. You know, we can get in trouble for trespassing against our neighbor. Well, out in these swooping areas, you know, stuff flies on the neighbors, that's a trespass. Particles fly across, that's a trespass. These big rigs come down the road and they cross out of the line and they make minor traffic accidents, that's a violation. So if they're serious about pushing back against the carpetbaggers, that could be done. But more importantly to me, I've owned, you know, and I could say 20% of the Main Street area in Tama and maybe a tenth up here in Toledo. And my property taxes made me buy my property back every 7 to 10 years. Okay, you could go investigate. Those facts are facts, and it's driving me out of business because I don't have money to improve. And I don't get the tax credits, the tax incentives, and all the infrastructure that is put in. So Tama County is providing all of this infrastructure for this billion-dollar industry to come in here. And what are we doing to get the money in our tax coffers? There's ways, those, you know, the roads on the farm, those farmers, that's not farms anymore, industrial. So those taxation credits should go away as farmers. They should be paying in there. So my property taxes are going down. The windmill itself, if you bid that in at the 10-year payback, it would triple 10 times. You know, so that maybe we can scoop in some of this carpet back, because the money's not going to be coming into Tama County. Be sure of that. It's going to be flowing away. And you guys can do what you want. I respect what you're trying to do, and you got a tough job. I don't know what your motives are, what you're doing, because that's the way that it works. You get comfortable. The higher ups make it comfortable so that your level of success in the world, you don't worry about these guys down here and their comfort. And around this country, there's a big movement to get back into nature, to get back into subsistence farming. And we don't want to do that here. No, we're going to be a big industrial power place. Tama County, a power plant? So my only thing is, I hope you push back and get money. We need the money. Otherwise, you're going to keep taking it from me.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hey, down, Richard.
Yep, good.
Have any of you heard any discussion from the state as far as them taking over control of these energy projects and overriding county ordinances? Has there been any further discussion down at the State House?
There was a bill last year. I went to the public hearing that they had for it. And it was placed on, it was on, do you know what board it was on, subcommittee?
I don't remember, no.
Anyway, they put it on for like, final passage to go onto the floor, and they pulled it. And so that was Clemesh's bill. And I don't know if you watch the news very often, but, he was just nominated to be, and voted on by his colleagues in the Senate to be the new Senate Majority Leader, Mike Clemesh. And so, he runs the agenda from there. If that gives you any implications, I can only read into it. That's the political angle. What's the legal angle? I don't know.
Did you say Senate Majority Leader?
Jack Whitver, was just stepped down and retired, so they voted him in as their majority leader.
So how often can they bring that issue up?
Every year.
Every spring or whenever, is it, what's the date that they usually are doing that, January to March?
Yeah, like January through April.
Every year.
Every year until it's.
Do you anticipate that that's going to be going through?
Well, they're at odds with the federal government. I don't know that they want to go against what Trump has laid out from a state perspective. This is just all political implications, but they nominated the guy that ran that bill last year, so that kind of gives me conflicting opinions, so I don't know.
And then our governor's going out, and there's just different people coming in and out, and it's hard to predict.
Well, but the thing is, they've been working on this for a number of years, so it's not going away.
Yeah,
It's not going away.
yep.
Just wondering what the latest on that was.
I would say they're in a better position to do it this year than they were last year. Just with driving the agenda.
But you have most of the county supervisors are against it. The issue is, who's gonna win that battle?
Statewide, you mean, like ISAC and
Yeah.
the statewide.
So when I went to supervise with the statewide supervisor meeting, there's I would say everyone that talked is against the state taking over local.
Local control.
Yeah, they started with mental health, and that was the stupidest area that they could have ever done.
Then they went to corrections.
Now they're going, next is public health.
Public health's next. And I think they're gonna, at some point in time, 911 will probably get moved to a district level rather than.
So the reasoning behind all that is it to establish a more uniform, consistent approach to
In
the
theory,
entire state?
No.
Rather than having all
The
these.
goal is to consolidate 99 counties without consolidating 99 counties.
right, that's the goal.
They require regionalization, which means what? Instead of dealing with 99 different belly buttons, they do, when they did mental health redesign, you had to have at least 3 counties to join, or to become a mental health region. Why? Why 3? That's an arbitrary number. Well, it's divisible by 99, that's the only, I'm sure other people have other opinions, but I think that from the state level, they've gone from 66 agencies or something down to 15 total agencies and consolidated a bunch of that. And so rather than having so much, bureaucracy, they see that the individual counties are individual bureaucracies. They've done it with workforce. I mean, they just consolidated how many workforce.
Yeah. There's gonna be
offices.
22 of us now together.
Yeah, detention, we're on Central Iowa Detention, we've got 32 counties at one detention facility. All of those are state mandated services that every county has to provide. Rather than having 99 detention facilities, we have one that 32 counties pay into.
Yeah, the workforce was the federal money, they reduced it by a ton to where you can't do it, that's, just like the windmill, the energy stuff, you scrunch our budgets and you get trapped, you can't do anything.
And they become unfunded mandates in many cases too.
Yep, and centralized power away from the counties to state level is never a good thing.
based on centralized control.
Yep.
And with any bureaucracy, the higher it goes up, the less space time you have with the people that it's affecting. And like meetings like this would end up going away at some point in time because you gotta talk to somebody in another county.
And we had a meeting once a month for correctionals when I was elected 2 years ago. Once a month, and now we have it once a year. But they want everybody's opinion that 1 month, that one meeting a year, but because it's very important to them. Yeah, that's sarcasm if you didn't know. But,
Yeah.
I'm almost ready for, Jacob's raise.
Yeah,
I
well,
think we're done.
we'll close public comments then,
Thank you.
and we'll adjourn at 9:35 if there's no other business coming forward. Thank you.
Well, wait a minute.